I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and what the hell just happened? Before we get started with this, I just want to say the word caveat 4 times over. So, caveat, 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 caveat. Why? Because at the time of recording this video, it seems possible that Brock Lesnar has failed a drug test following his victory over Mark Hunt at UFC 200. Now, why do I say possibly? Because at the moment there's more questions than there is answers. But here's what we do know. Brock Lesnar has indeed been flagged for potentially failing a drug test by anti-doping agency USADA in an out-of-competition test on the 28th of June. Good grief. Aside from adding another loop-the-loop to the UFC 200 roller coaster after all the John Jones stuff the other week, it raises so many other points as well, all of which are going to be discussed to death until we have proper details. So let's start at the beginning. As mentioned, the testing was done out of competition, which instantly rules out any recreational drugs. If Lesnar had tested positive for marijuana, for example, it would have been dismissed. That stuff only matters during in-competition testing. That immediately brings us to the subject of performing-enhancing drugs, or PEDs. Given Lesnar's quote to the media before his fight, "I'm a white dude and I'm jacked, deal with it," it would seem very weird if behind the curtain he was doing something like this. They're just asking for trouble. There's no smoke without fire. There's obviously something in Lesnar's system that goes against UFC rules. With that said, every fighter that does get popped is allowed to submit a B sample, or more blood taken at the time of the test in case the first one was a mistake. At the moment, we don't know the result of that, so maybe that comes back, and it turns out Brock's been unfairly duped. Unfortunately, the amount of times that has happened can be counted on one hand. There's more to all of this too. The past has shown us that the occasional fighter can get busted for something that wasn't his or her fault. If you're any kind of MMA fan, you will have heard the term tainted supplement over and over again. In short, this means a fighter did take a product that was perfectly legal, but the manufacturer put something in it that they really shouldn't have done. That's really hard to prove, but it can happen. As of course can the fact that Lesnar did just decide to take PEDs. I'm sure Brock would be the first one to tell you that he passed 5 other USADA tests, but it's that one that matters, and something in his system has shown up. Given Lesnar's dual status, this also brings up a ton of questions about the WWE. For my money, it's unfair to shout out, well, how did he pass all the WWE wellness tests without knowing the ins and outs? Maybe he didn't feel the need to take anything when he was in the WWE, yet when it came to a real competitive fight, he wanted to have that extra edge. Alternatively, maybe his WWE test just didn't show anything suspicious. After all, if they're willing to suspend Roman Reigns, surely Brock Lesnar isn't that safe. But it's the fallout from this that makes it so intriguing. If USADA decides this was a legit violation, does WWE suspend him too? And given the fact the fight was in Vegas, that means the Nevada Commission's going to get involved. If they suspend him, and he could get around 2 years, which would end his MMA career, that's a suspension that can be held up all over the world. Given that some states still regulate pro wrestling, that means Brock Lesnar would not be allowed to wrestle in those states, which is madness. Either way, this could result in a huge fine for the beast, rumoured to have made about $6 million total for the fight. A large chunk of that could be taken away. That will obviously be lessened if it turned out to be inadvertent. The idea of these things is always to punish the intent to cheat as opposed to actual mistakes. As for the fight itself, expect the result to be overturned and deemed a no contest should the worst happen. And let's face it, if Brock Lesnar did make this choice, then he's got to face up to his actions and accept the consequences. It does taint his awesome return and his legacy, but that's life. We all make mistakes. We've got to face up to it. Make sure you keep your eyes glued to WhatCulture.com and here on YouTube for more on this story as it unfolds. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and that's what the hell just happened.